our attendees. We're a Microsoft Team shop, and moving into Zoom for these board meetings is presenting lots of complications. So I appreciate everyone out there in the public who joined today and has bared with us for the last 10 minutes. I want to start just by doing a quick round of introductions with the board members and the panelists who will be speaking today. And the first thing I want to do before we get into that is Danny Cortez has been serving on the board dating all the way back to 2018. He served over the course of 2 administrations very admirably, and we're very happy that Danny was with us during that time. Due to other responsibilities and areas of focus for him, he's decided to step down, which we can understand and appreciate. And at the September meeting, the next quarterly meeting, we'd like to honor his commitment to the board more formally, but I wanted to share that before we get started. So with that, I'll introduce myself. My name is Mark Dodds. I'm the Deputy Director and leader of the city's Division of Housing and Community Development, and I will pass it over to Jesse.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Jesse Lawrence, Director of Planning and Development here in the city of Philadelphia. I'll kick it over to Sandra, who's also on the call.
Hello, I'm Sandra Milano. It's a Senior Program Manager at the Division of Housing and Community Development. I can pass it to Naida.
Hi everyone, my name is Naida Elena Montes and I am the CDBG-DR Interim Project Director under the Department of Finance. I'll pass it over to Justin.
Hi, my name is Justin Thornton. I am the Senior Project Manager for the Home Initiative. I'll pass it over to Dinesh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dinesh Indal, I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the Housing Authority. And I'll pass it on to Dave.
David Thomas, President, CEO, PHDC.
Andy.
Can you hear me?
Was that for me?
Yes.
Yeah, Andy, you're up.
Oh, sorry. I'm just listening in today. Andy Toy, Director of the Appraisal Bias Program for the city. Barbara go?
Oh, Barbara Capozzi. I think I'm the only private sector person here, which is I'd like to see more. But anyway, EXP Realty, South Philadelphia.
Thanks, Barb.
Okay, thanks everyone. Our agenda today is fairly light, and we also understand that given the holiday, I think the attendance. I'm actually really pleased to see we've had 50 plus participants, which is great. So thanks for coming. Just a few days shy of the holiday. We'll move things along pretty quickly. I just want to remind everybody, if you have any questions, please don't put them in the chat. Please put them in the Q&A. It'll be much easier for us to address those. And I'm kindly asking that if folks are commenting on the same topic, or if they have feedback or questions, that to the best of everyone's ability, if they're able to ask or share or comment on something that's new that hasn't been stated before, I think that will help to move the meeting along. First off, I want to start with Turn the Key. There was I know the agenda listed ribbon cutting. It was actually groundbreaking. It was yesterday. It was in the city's Mantua section. It was the event took place to celebrate the construction of 90 new homes. The mayor was in attendance. I was not there. I'm assuming it was incredibly hot. So I appreciate anybody who did attend and help us celebrate that groundbreaking. Just some stats on the program to date. 427 homes have been completed and sold. 32 million in Turn the Key mortgages have been committed. The average mortgage amount is approximately $70,000. And in the pipeline, there are an additional 1,118 units that have been approved for development, and approximately 200 homes are currently under construction. So Turn the Key has had very ambitious goals from the onset, but has continued to perform. It's a very high priority program for the city and PHDC, and it's very well funded in the year one program statement and budget for the city's home bond. And we'll continue to make progress in that space.
Yeah, just one correction. The groundbreaking event took place on Tuesday, not yesterday.
Okay, Tuesday. Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
Any questions before we move on?
There are no questions in the Q&A.
Thank you. The next update, I'm going to pass it to Nida for an update on the Disaster Recovery Resilience Program, or DRIP.
Everyone, so as several of you know, the DRIP program, which is funded through the CDBG Disaster Recovery Funds, had launched in November of 2025. We have been working with PHDC to implement this program. And since they have been doing an outreach to applicants that had a FEMA claim and also were on the BSRP waiting list. As of right now, we have about 45 inspections on homes that have been completed. And the next step would be environmental reviews for those homes. That's an additional requirement based on our funding source. So those environmental reviews are potentially set to start by next week. After the environmental reviews are completed on homes, then the scope of work can be developed, and then we'll move into the construction phase. So we're hoping that sometime mid to end July, construction could potentially start on homes, specifically for the DRIP program. And we also have been training 5 NAC organizations with their connector teams to have them prepared to do additional outreach if applicants need additional assistance or need help with submitting documentation. So that will help with direct outreach and to support residents in applying for the program. Any questions?
There is a question regarding Turn the Key. That's in the Q&A. And for the remaining units, are the parcels already committed to current development partners, or will there be future open awards, and in which neighborhoods? Thank you for the opportunity to submit questions.
I don't know if Mark wants to answer that or separate program.
I'm gonna pass that to Dave.
I can't speak to it specifically. I can tell you that there will be additional RFQs or RFPs, but I can't tell you specifically the neighborhoods and the areas as of right now because we're still working with the respective representatives in those districts.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for the update, Nida. Appreciate that. I'm going to pivot to talk about affordable housing development RFPs and upcoming opportunities. I just want to remind everybody that generally our awards are made through a competitive process. We just went through a non-LIHTC/home ARP RFP, which was the first time we've had funding available for non-LIHTC projects in several years. We are in the process of meeting with applicants who are not awarded so that they can learn the strengths and weaknesses of the proposal so that when they come back to us with a future opportunity, they'll be in a better position to submit a stronger proposal. That's not to say that we didn't get a lot of great proposals. We did, and those awards have been made and those projects are beginning to move forward. I'll remind folks too that in the year one home program statement of budget, a substantial amount of money was set aside for production and preservation of affordable housing, 46 million for preservation and 30 million for production or new construction. We do all this work in collaboration with Dave and our partners at PHDC, and that includes any refining of RFPs and any kind of massaging of policies and language there, and the reviewing of all the proposals and things of that nature. I think the big news, which we've been socializing quite a bit in different settings, both here and in other places, is that we are now moving to a 4% rolling low-income housing tax credit gap financing application. We anticipate releasing that very soon, probably this month. And so please look out for that. I'm sure everyone who has applied for prior opportunities will be alerted through a constant contact blast when that goes out. There'll probably be a briefing as well to talk about the finer points, especially anything that's changed since the last 4% RFP was issued. What we're really looking for in this rolling model is one, to be aligned with the state. That's how they administer their 4% tax credits. And also we're really honing in on projects that are shovel ready, that are ready to hit the ground as soon as our funding is committed or shortly thereafter. And if you're coming to us with a project that doesn't seem ready, we're more than happy to talk things through with you to try and get you in a better place. And essentially we want to be open for business and support any developer team that's ready to use our funds in the way we outline in the RFP.
Excuse me, Mark, could you please speak louder? Some people are having trouble hearing you.
Sure.
Thank you.
So in addition to the rolling 4%, we'll be poised probably in late summer, early fall. We'll be getting out in front of PHFA's 9% RFP after their QAP or the Qualified Action Plan closes. We will be shortly thereafter, we'll be administering our 9% RFP as we traditionally do. We're going to be mindful of making awards as soon as we can, so that applicants can then take our award letters up to the state to show that the city has made their commitment. And then going back all the way into the spring, we anticipate releasing another non-LIHTC, which I think is good news for folks that weren't funded in the last round. Any changes there, we'll be sure to communicate both in advance and at any briefings, but we do anticipate that non-LIHTC round, the next one in the spring of 2027, which is what we're currently targeting, be focused more on similar projects to what we've received in the past, but we might expand what that looks like. I think some folks have been interested in home ownership opportunities and some other things that maybe we haven't done in a while. So no definitive decisions there, but I did want to share the timeline. Folks are always interested in how they can get prepared for upcoming opportunities. I think the other big news, which is a departure from prior years, is that our award amounts have traditionally been flat, regardless of unit size. And we're now moving to a per unit subsidy. And there are nuances to it, which we can explain in more detail at any upcoming briefings. And that language will also be spelled out in the next RFP as well. And regardless of the application type, we anticipate moving into a per unit subsidy rather than a flat award. And it will look something like $100,000 per unit, going up to 30 units, and then above 30, it would be an additional $50,000 a unit, capped at a maximum of $4.5 million a project, which would serve 60 or more units. So that's a substantial departure than what we've done in the past. And I think those are the major announcements regarding upcoming affordable housing RFP. So with that, we'll pause and take any questions. Hopefully folks heard me okay.
There are no questions at this time.
Good. As far as our annual action plan, I'll just remind folks, this is our annual application for HUD funding. It covers CDBG funding, Home Investment Partnership funding, HOPWIL funding, or Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, and as well as emergency solution grants administered by the Office of Homeless Services. That proposed plan is posted on our website. It was presented in front of City Council approximately a month ago in front of the Finance Committee. That's gone through council and has passed, and our submission to HUD will take place likely next week. It essentially is our grant application for those 4 funding sources, like I mentioned. I'll just reiterate and be a reminder, or maybe new information for some folks, but these are formula and entitlement grants. They're not competitive. These are essentially given our allocation for each funding source in the spring, and then we put a plan together that speaks to how we're going to spend that money. And that's followed by a CAPER, a consolidated annual performance and evaluation report that we submit in the fall that talks about how we spent the money in the prior fiscal year. So that plan has moved through council, it's been approved, and will be submitted to HUD shortly, and we generally get our grant agreement signed from HUD in the early fall. Unless there are any questions there, I will, and if folks are interested in seeing the plan, if they haven't seen it before, it's on our website, phila.gov/DHCD. I can put this in the chat. phila.gov/DHCD in the publication section. You can access it there. So with that, I will pass it over to Justin from the home team to provide a home update.
Thank you, Mark. So for the home update, just I'm sure everyone knows, but the home plan is a $2 billion investment that creates 30,000 homes. Trying to look for 15 production and then 15,000 preservation. So right now where we're at with that is the first track of money just was received, and that was 400 million. So what we're doing is dispersing that money throughout the programs that we have. So in total, there are 27 programs that is being funded by Home. And right now, some are, live and ready to go. Some existing programs like BSRP and adaptive modifications, but there's other programs that are still in the design phase that we are excited to launch, such as the Wills program, which we should be releasing an RFP in the coming weeks to make sure that's launched. We also have some other programs that are in the design phase. So with the money that we just got, we are, starting to ramp up and making sure all the programs that are existing and that are ready to go, that they are being funneled. Some of those programs are curbside appeal, facade improvement, and as I said, BSRP and others. So we just want to make sure you all are updated. We did just get our first track of money, so we are progressing nicely. We do have a website called One Philly Front Door that is central location for all the programs. If you need additional information, please just look at that website if you have any additional questions. And I'm sure along with all of our other city websites that could potentially give you information for housing as well. And I think, Mark, I think that's it for my update.
Thank you, Justin. We'll pause for any questions for Justin.
There's not a question. There is a comment from Bonita Cummings regarding the home program. As the home program moves forward and additional housing initiatives are expected to be considered during City Council's September legislative session, it is imperative that community engagement become a central component of the program's success. Community voice is not merely a procedural requirement, it is essential for creating sustainable neighborhoods. Residents who live with the daily impacts of development understand the conditions, assets, and challenges of their communities in ways that cannot be measured solely through planning documents or development proposals. Many neighborhoods are already experiencing an overconcentration of rental housing without a corresponding investment in home ownership opportunities, economic development, neighborhood service, serving retail, quality public spaces, and infrastructure. Continuing to approve large numbers of rental units in already saturated neighborhoods risks perpetuating the very conditions of concentrated poverty, instability, and marginalization that the home program.
Yes, if I could just respond very quickly. Yes, I think just to wrap up, the home program is for Philadelphians. So we want to make sure, and we are doing the best we can to make an overall commitment to making sure that we are getting community buy-in on these programs and making sure that it works for everyone in the city of Philadelphia. This isn't a plan or an initiative that is targeted just to a certain group. We wanted to make sure it fits across everyone in the city of Philadelphia, no matter what stage of income, how long you've been here. We want to make sure everyone can find themselves in the home plan. So we are committed and we are looking for every avenue to get out into the community to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to get the information that we receive from Philadelphians and making sure that we are putting it out into the program so it can serve Philadelphians the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Lindsay Patterson, she would like your contact information. She's an affordable housing developer and would like more information about the home program. She's interested.
Can I ask Justin, isn't the focus of home ownership and not rental?
So, as I said, we want to make sure that every Philadelphian is serviced. So we do have programs that are focused on home ownership, and we do have programs that are focused on people that are renting as well. So the goal isn't just to, we want to make sure that people have the flexibility that if they want to rent, that they can rent and still afford to live in the city and make sure that they have a quality of life there. And if you want to aspire to do home ownership, we have programs that will assist in that path as well. So as I said, we want to make sure that everyone is serviced, whether you're renting, a homeowner, low income, market rate, we want to make sure that everyone is serviced.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, I could, I guess, put my email in the chat if anyone has any questions. I think that's, so yeah, I will do that for who asked for my contact. Thank you.
Okay. And there's a question from A. Weiss. With all the funds and money coming in, when will the Lower Germantown former settlement properties, now PHA, be renovated? It has been decades of blight, vacancies when homes are desperately needed. We need a timeline and immediate progress. We get no information about plans and timeline. Thank you.
I can take this question. So, hey, Allison, this is Dinesh Nandal. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. I think you and I communicated maybe a couple of days earlier. And we just met yesterday to go over the plans. So early next week, I can set up a meeting with our team or like share some details. We are trying to address this in a strategy that you'll want. First things first, we will do is address all the issues about the board up, cleanups, and all that. While we do that, we are simultaneously working with our general contractors, all the individual scattered sites that are not Hamel Mill, but not the big properties, but the big groupings, but all the other properties. We already had an A&E firm walkthrough. We have the scope of work. Now we just need to walk with the GCs to get some bids. But I'll have Sean, who's our head of our planning. In my response, I copied you on that email. So he's going to draft you, and I think we had another person from the neighborhood reach out to give you an update with some timelines.
Yes, thank you, Dinesh.
There's a question from Bonita Cummings. What is the plan for meeting with communities that you have not met with and aren't in Center City?
This is referring to the home program? I'm assuming if
Yes.
So we are trying to go across the board from people throughout the city, not just Center City, but in every neighborhood, every aspect of Philadelphia. So it's not that we're just meeting with just, certain people at a certain demographic. We want to meet across the board because we want the home program to work for everyone. If there are communities that are feeling like they would benefit from hearing about these programs, I will put my email in the chat. I will be happy to coordinate some things to make sure that we are in those communities to make sure that they know everything that we're doing in the city of Philadelphia to help them in terms of the home program. So I will put my email in the chat. If you would like us to come out, we will be happy to schedule and coordinate something. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
Yep, thank you, Justin. Is that it, Mirta?
No, two more just came up.
Mark,
Mark, what is the timeline to release the rolling RFP for city funding for 4% LIHTC projects?
yeah, Ben, we anticipate releasing that RFP this month in July.
And Erika Bryan Miller would like people to know that PMBR is planning a community town hall around the home program. And that is at this time.
Looks like we have a hand up as well.
Okay. That's Amina Perez. Amina Perez, you are
Hi.
unmuted.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to state that I know Germantown Masjid and the community there, as well as the school that's been operating, are very interested in being involved in the former Germantown settlement properties as well. And they would like to be included on the email to know next steps. They own the majority of the properties in that block and across the street from that block. And so they are the closest situated, and they're very interested in what's going on with that project as well.
Hey, I mean, yes, absolutely. I'll share my email to you in the chat. But we are working on a community update meeting once we have some more plans. But I'll send you what I have, what I'm sharing with Allison. And if you have any further questions or any issues that you need us to address immediately, you can just shoot me an email too. So I'll leave my email in the chat right now.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone for your questions. I think we can move on to the next item. It's a modular housing update. Jesse?
Sure. So good afternoon, everybody, again. When it comes to the modular housing, the department continues to advance its due diligence efforts, looking at the potential for such factory here in Philadelphia when it comes to modular housing. As you may know, our RFI generated a significant amount of responses from modular factory operators and some related firms as well. Much of that response offered a lot of significant insight into housing typologies, operational models, financing structures. One of the key findings in a lot of that response was basically that a Philadelphia-based factory is going to require significant and substantial public support and even guarantees when it comes to the production of a pipeline on an annual basis. So right now, when it comes to the existing work plan, we are moving forward on a host of different, but I think major milestones. Most recent work around it really includes some briefings that we've completed with some interdepartmental partners such as Commerce, PIDC, ongoing briefings with like finance and budget and even our law department. We've been conducting some informational interviews as well with some of the partners on the Cleveland side where we got the inspiration, respondents themselves, some subject matter experts who have expressed some interest in the effort. All of that is underway, and we are continuing that through the summer. One major next step, probably an immediate next step, is to engage with a consultant that will help us complete some financial governance and risk analysis when it comes to all the information we've compiled so far. That scope of work for that, what would be an RFP for those services, professional services, they're being finalized as we speak. And we're hoping to contract that out once we are landing on our FY27 funds, once they're available this month. In parallel, and at the same time, we're advancing things like site identification. That work includes the scan of some potential warehouses and land sites. That's in progress. That's in addition to a deeper analysis that we did in the spring along the lines of zoning, zoning, ownership itself of the facility, infrastructure, how that helps do what we need to do, even down to like things like turning radiuses and just assessing that and how site potential really kind of is realistic in more places than others. But we anticipate providing some sort of site recommendation or at least preliminary site recommendations. We're trying to schedule that for leadership review in the fall. So, as we go down this road, we really think that this effort really positions us to make some more informed decisions later this year. Not just about, the facility itself, but some sort of housing pilot, something that is going to lend to some long-term feasibility in establishing a factory. But I think once those consultant analyses are complete in the fall, I think we'll have a clearer picture of what the viable approach would be in terms of the governance, the required investment, and ultimately what the city's potential role is going to be. So I hope that helps, and I'll take any questions if there are any.
Next.
Okay, thank you.
No questions.
No questions. We'll move on to the last agenda item. Sandra, for a pro housing update.
Hi, everyone. So I wanted to share with the group on the Housing Advisory Board and all the attendees that we have begun our Pro Housing Grant, which is a new grant that we received from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. PRO stands for Pathways to Removing Obstacles to Housing. And the purpose is to identify areas or projects that we can use to make it easier or more streamlined to do production and preservation of housing, and any kind of new pilot programs that will help reduce barriers for housing to residents of Philadelphia and to developers. So this grant really aligns very well with the home plan and the mayor's goals around housing. So we're excited to be able to use it as another funding source to really take a deep dive on some studies, evaluations, planning activities, and pilot programs that will help us achieve our goals. And so our plan for this funding source was approved by HUD recently. A few weeks ago, we received the notice that it was approved, and it is online. I'm putting the link in the chat. Actually, I will send it to everyone now. So at that link, you can find the Pro Housing Action Plan. And again, you can reach out with any questions about the Pro Housing Grant itself, but it outlines all of the activities that are planned over the next few years.
We do have a question regarding the modular housing from William Scott. Have you looked at the Navy Yard for the modular housing piece?
Exactly.
So I will say that is something that we are currently evaluating. I won't get into specifics about where we've landed in terms of site selection because that work is ongoing, but please understand that opportunities like the Navy Yard are certainly being considered for some of the most obvious reasons. In my update, one of the things I wanted to make sure was clear is that it's not just about, vacant land. It's also about potential adaptive reuse opportunities as well. But I mean, you know, coming from the planning department, we certainly want to make sure that when we're considering this type of thing, or considering the feasibility and potential for these types of facilities, you know, candidates like the Navy Yard are certainly ones that appear present to us for further evaluation. So simple answer is yes, we're definitely considering the Navy Yard and places of that nature.
Thank you, Jesse. Bonita Cummins have a comment. We believe all this housing development can be successful if the administration, city council, developers respect community voice. Thank you, Bonita. Lindsay Patterson, Sandra, she would like for you to share your contact information, please, in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, I just put my email in the chat.
There are no further questions at this time.
Okay, I want to thank everybody again for joining today. Thanks for bearing with us at the beginning through the delayed start. And I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, and we will see you in the fall.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Linda Patterson has a question, but she didn't put it down.